Plano ISD is known as one of the best school districts in the state. I moved to Plano almost 30 years ago because Plano ISD had the best schools. I want that opportunity for every parent in Plano today and for future parents that want to move into Plano. I think today, most probably, have very challenged environments. Our enrollment is dropping. Our suburban districts are growing faster and attracting some of our best talent in teachers and principals. And I do want to change that and make sure that Plano is set up so that we are ready for success for the next generation. We used to be for the longest time like A-rated school district. It was for 20, 30 years we were an A-rated school district. Today, we are a B minus. We have schools that are failing, that are rated D and F. Instead of improving our schools, we are fighting the system that says it's not fair. It may not be fair, but today I think Plano is very challenged. And as a school board member, my goal is to start at the very top and set that high standard to make sure that Plano ISD is also in the future also considered one of the best school districts and that families want to move into our district. In order to create my vision, there are short-term plans and long-term plans. I worked in the school districts for 30 years. I worked in Plano ISD for 15 years before I retired. And now I'm doing education consulting. I see great things happening in the region and across the state that Plano is lagging behind. We need short-term efforts and long-term efforts to get. When our ultimate goal is to ensure our students graduate, they go to college, and not only go to college, they graduate from college. Today, if you look at the measures, they are coming down. So how do you start? It starts with teachers. It starts with central office. It starts with principals. It starts with the community. So I want to put systems in place that we reward our best teachers to stay in Plano and also to attract the best teachers in the state to come to Plano and teach. I want to put in systems to attract the best principals to come into our schools and lead these teachers and students. And in order to do that, we need to put policies in place from the school board level that the superintendent will execute. We need to rearrange some funding so that most of our funding does go to our classrooms. Today, about maybe 70% of our funding go to the classroom. We definitely can increase that. We need to start involving our parents and community. When there were times in Plano that the parents and community was very involved. We do involve that through fine arts programs, athletic programs, and sometimes students going to the classroom and taking tests don't really involve parents in the conversation. We need to get our community involved with a lot more activities, a lot more engagement efforts to have a joint stake in developing Plano ISD. The last one is financial responsibility is the. I know everybody says we are strapped for funds. Taxpayers don't want tax too much. I don't want to get taxed too much. At the same time, how do you balance that? Well, that comes with how efficient our funding is. I would like, one of my first tasks as the board member is to ask the superintendent, let's look at everything that we spend money on. Tell us what is efficient, what is not efficient, which ones are giving you best return on in your investments, and which ones are you going to abandon strategically so that we can put more funds into areas we think that we need. So those will be my 5 key priorities, and I think all of them can be acted from day one when I'm on the school board, with the support of the other 6 board members, obviously. Well, the ultimate success is ensuring that our college-going culture is maintained. We graduate almost all of our kids. But is that good enough? We not only have to graduate kids, we have to graduate kids on the path to success that they go to college. And not only they enter college, are they set up, well built to graduate from college too. And that requires different measures of success. I will measure success in the long term by how well we are graduating kids and how successful they are down the road. That means college entry, college graduation. Other measures of success are we retaining our best teachers? In order to do that, we need to identify who our best teachers are. Do we have systems to do that? Are we retaining, if we retained 80% of our best teachers today, then the goal will be to retain 90% of the best teachers next year. Do we have systems in place like that that is today led by the school board, ensuring that the superintendent executes it? Unfortunately, there are no systems in place like that. There are systems in place like that in other districts in the state, and Frisco ISD has systems like that. Other districts are implementing that, and this is high time that Plano get a little bit modern in their way of thinking. And some of these systems start all the way at pre-K. Are we measuring success at pre-K? Are we measuring success at every grade level? Those are things that we need to be built in from day one, measuring micro level work that adds up to get macro level work of the kids are successful. Now, we do have very successful programs. For example, our fine arts programs and our performing arts programs. They are very, very successful. They are well known in the state. And we need to also continue doing them. But at the same time, we can't sit and expect them to be automatically be successful. We have to invest in it and we have to fund it. So we have to do our metrics of measurement at that micro level and also at the macro level to ensure it happens. The simple answer is very, very important. Now, the why is, it's a symbiotic relationship. There are businesses that come to Plano because we had one of the best schools and we were producing some of the best graduates. And our graduates, they graduate, they go to college, and a lot of them, they come back to Plano and buy homes and live in Plano, or they work in Plano. So at the same time, the school districts need that community involvement in making schools successful. Do all of our schools have a business sponsor or a partner that we have a system that we can lean on and support? Not only volunteering, but some financial support, mentoring support for our students. Our student demographics are changing. At one time, 80% of Plano parents had 1 or 2 college degrees. Today, some of those demographics are changing. So mentoring students with involvement with the community and the business community is very important because we want to build that success up. And also from the financial side, yes, we may be strapped for funds in certain areas. Now we can also obviously relocate it, but business community can help. They can raise fund. There's a lot of philanthropy that can support schools, especially from some of our campuses that have very low PTA participation. We can get the business community involved and the large community involved in supporting those campuses and the events. So there's a large role to play that both the school districts and the business community can benefit. And the primary driver of that are the trustees. So that's an important role that they will play. Yes, I am running to make Plano better. But at the same time, let's not forget there are a lot of things we still do well. Our fine arts program, is even today is considered one of the best. And I personally know people that have moved to Plano because they want their children to be in the best orchestra or the best jazz band or the best theater program, which we start in Plano even in middle school, which is very rare to have a theater program in middle school in Texas. So there are our CTE programs that we are implementing. That's our career and technology education program to bring a diverse education background to our kids and more opportunities. We will hope is that these students will get an industry-based certificate that they can, if they can't afford college, they can start work and college at the same time. So Plano is implementing some of that work very well. These are some, the CTE program is a little bit new to the state, new to the country, and it's definitely new to Plano, so we are making a great effort. And the other thing that I do need to commend Plano ISD is how they are dealing with falling enrollment. We have lost about 7,000 students in the last 10 years, and we are expected to lose about 700-800 students in the next 5 to 10 years. So we may be, at one time, we were a 55,000 school district. In 5 years' time, maybe we are 45,000 or even less. So that is a huge challenge for Plano. But so one thing is looking at capacity and how they arrange to look at how you reduce the number of facilities and getting so that means school closure. It's a very, very tough subject, but the way they went about it and got the community input, I think I need to commend the current school board trustees and the administration for successfully reaching a conclusion. And now, if nobody likes their neighborhood school to be closed, but then at the same time, you can't keep schools that are open, that are old, that needs rebuilding, and at the same time they are not fully utilized. That's a lot of overhead. We need to shift that funds to the rest of the schools to make those schools better.